Hello and welcome everyone on another beautiful day. So I know everyone is excited for another lesson and hope like it will be a great time like ever. So today, as you can see on screen, the topic is growth hacking and scaling strategies, and Mr. AJ Smart going to take us through this lesson, which is gonna be so much with information, details, and we all are looking forward to this. You must all be familiar with this face and his name and the in-depth knowledge that he gives to his lessons. I'm also very excited. So I know you know him very well, but just to introduce him formally, I would like to speak few words about Mr. AJ Scott. So he's an award-winning entrepreneur, renowned for his dynamic contribution to the technology sector and his multifaceted professional endeavor. And as a founder and CEO of Nomfro Technologies has established a reputation for innovation and leadership in IT industry. And by looking at the today's topic, growth hacking and scaling strategies, so we were just, at the back we were discussing that people might be thinking, what is this hacking, growth hacking? So relax, this is not related to IT hacking. It has a growth hacking in your business, which Mr. AJ will very well explain. Um, so I would like now Mr. AJ to take it forward.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Anu, for the introduction. As she has already mentioned, my name is AJ Smart, and I would be taking us through today's session on business growth hacking and scaling very comprehensive training, but because of time, straight to learning about these basic concepts and strategies. Of course, I would share um, the learning material so that you can have enough time to go through. I've been able to work on this document, which you can actually, it probably take you a month or so to finish. Since you are a business owner, I believe you would definitely have at least an hour or two a day to go through. And I believe that this is going to help you a lot on how to scale your business. That is very important for startups. So we are looking at business growth and hacking scale strategies, of course, for startups. So in a nutshell, we are going to be looking at, let's start with understanding the concept of growth hacking. The first thing to understand is growth hacking is a data-driven, of course, iterative, and of course, unconventional approach. Basically, in a nutshell, is an unconventional approach to business growth. Uh, of course, it involves utilizing innovative strategies and tactics to achieve rapid growth, primarily through digital marketing channels. Unlike traditional marketing growth, hacking focus on finding scalable and, of course, replicable solution to drive customer uh, acquisition in a nutshell. So then, uh, it's very important to understand when we discuss business uh, growth hacking. The main focus in this case is on digital marketing, and the reason is because our next section is going to be on digital marketing. And that is why we decided to take this particular training this day before we can now transition, of course, to the digital marketing. So basically, business growth hacking involves an unconventional way of doing business by taking advantage of technology, leveraging on technology. And the reason technology is the best way to do business growth hacking is because, um, as I mentioned, you are able to uh, find scalable, of course, ways to do your business. to acquire a customer, to grow your business. And if it's in a traditional way of marketing, let me give it a practical example. For example, in a traditional way of marketing where you run a TV advert, for example, the truth is you have no idea who even saw the advert. You have no idea how many people really watch the advert. You have no idea how many people from that TV advert actually would come to your store or even buy from you. Uh, and so you would, at the end of the day, not actually able um, to measure exactly from which channel you were able to make sales and from which channel you were able to reach how many people and from of course how much or what service you are able to actually sold from which channel. So to understand this concept is simply leveraging on technology to grow your business. It's as simple as that. Uh, that is why it's said that it's an unconventional way, and that is why we call it hacking, not to misunderstand it with uh, the kind of hacking that most people might be thinking about. So then, what is the need of using unconventional way of marketing to grow my business? That is the next question, because now I understand what this concept is about. So why do I need it? Traditional marketing method, while is effective, we are not disputing the fact that it's effective. In the past, of course, may not yield same results
I guess there's some.
business. We talk about. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, there was some disturbance in between, but please carry on.
Okay, thank you. So, why do you need it? Why do we need growth hacking? Why do we need to use an unconventional way of doing business? Why not just the way we used to do our business? This one reason, I think the internet connection is very bad.
I think the connection is breaking in between, but
Okay,
you'll be fine.
let me just, I don't know if it's from my end. If it is, then I have to find a way to
But right
sort
now
that.
it's clean. Sorry for this inconvenience, fellows. Yes, Mr. Smart, you
Okay,
can go
I
ahead.
hope that. Yes. Okay. So the question we are asking is why using an unconventional way of marketing? Why not just stick to our traditional way of marketing? One good reason would be that the internet, as we all know it, has already disrupted the way we live. It has completely changed the way people interact, the way we connect socially, and of course. Uh, as we all know, every social gathering is actually a gathering of potential customers. So the way people communicate, the way we interact these days, the way people, even the way consumers actually source for products and services has completely changed. And I'm going to use one very simple example. There are a lot of people watching this video from different locations. And you can imagine that if we have to say everybody should travel to a particular location, that would definitely be very difficult. But then this is not a conventional way. This is not how things used to be done. There was a way people used to come together from different locations to come together to whether it's for business meeting or for a training, a class, physical class, or let's say it for a family gathering or any kind of business meeting at all. But in this case, today we are meeting for this training and we are doing it online, which of course is way more effective compared to if this was a traditional or a conventional way of doing things. And why not? Because if it was a conventional way of doing things, then I would wonder how many of you will really make it out to this place. So now let's relate it back to business and how um, important and why you need it, because the internet and the technology in general has already disrupt the way we live. In of course, in that means that the way trend has changed. Think of fashion, for example. Think of e-commerce, for example. Think of if you are running a shop, for example, and you depend completely on acquiring customer via using a conventional method of marketing or sales, for example, where you have to go meet people physically, where you have to employ marketers to visit people, and then you have a competitor who can just leverage on technologies by the use of taking advantage of social media, taking advantage of AI, and all of that. You can be sure that they will definitely have a better advantage over your own business or over you in terms of sales as far as marketing is concerned. So that is just one among so many other reasons why taking growth hacking is very, very important for your business. Now, as I have said, it's a very comprehensive training, but we would focus on um, we'll focus on the key principles and, of course, and the strategies for growth hacking. That is what we'll be dealing with now. Then we'll share this document so that you can take your time to go through the step-by-step guide that I have prepared. So then, what are the key principles? So let's look at number one. So start with a clear value preposition. If you look at this training from when we started up to where we are today, you will realize that we make sure that we start from step one, step two. That is why you see that most of this topic always come up from one training or the other. That is because it's a step by step training. And so when it comes to key principle for business growth hacking, the first key principle is you need to start with a clear value preposition. All right. One of the fundamental principles of growth hacking is to have a compelling value preposition. And of course, so let's talk about that. A value preposition is a statement that clearly communicates the unique benefit and value that your product or service offers to customers. It should be, of course, can you still hear me? Okay. So, as I was saying, it's very, very important to have a clear value preposition. And this is clearly going to convince your customer. And I will give an example before I go into details. For example, when you approach people with an advert or with a press release or even with a pitch, for example, since yesterday we were discussing how to prepare for investment. And I did mention that your summary goes a long way to determine whether an investor will be interested in what you're offering to the extent they would even want to invest in your business. Now, in this case, we are talking about customer acquisition, right? So then it's very, very important to highlight what you are offering, because before you start talking about how can I sell this to someone, you would have to at least get the person to be interested in what you are even selling. And one way to do that is to immediately highlight what they would benefit from your product or service, because they are not buying it to help you. It's funny when I see people actually want to blackmail you to buy something from them. And I'm like, look, I'm not going to buy a product or service from you because your face look good, or because you dress good, or because even though that contribute goes a long way to your first appearance and all that. But at the end of the day, what is in it for me is the main point. All right. And that is what this particular value preposition is talking about. Highlight the key benefit that target the customer. Highlight the key benefit to the customer. What is it in that I stand to gain? How is that going to make my life easier? How is it that your product is going to make my life easier? How is it that it's going to make the way I do things easier? It's very, very important. Yeah. Tell me how that is going to solve my problem. And if you can do that, then I will now begin to be like, oh, okay, tell me more. So this is where you start with very, very important. This is the fundamental principle. Highlight the key advantages, the key benefit of your product or service. That is the first one. And then we'll go to the second one. Second principle is identify and understand your target audience. We have gone back again, and you will probably wonder why we keep hammering on identify and understand your target audience. In as much as your product may look like everybody needs clothes, yes, everybody need food, yes, but you cannot sell to everybody. That is just the truth. You will have to identify who you can reach, with how much you can reach the person, and how much with the pricing, how much can the person afford. In as much as everybody need food, at least not the one you are selling. So you would have to uh, come up with uh, a group that you would identify as your target audience. So to effectively grow your business, you need to identify and understand your target audience. This involves, of course, conducting market research. We've talked about that, to gather data, of course, on customer demography, behavior, preference, and of course, pain points. Pain point. Now, by understanding your audience, you tailor your marketing messages. Now, we are talking about business growth hacking, which means you don't just jump into market blindly, because you want to take advantage of information. By the way, one thing that I probably forgot to mention, which we would look at it in the course of this principle, is that business growth hacking, by the way, is data driven. Very, very important. You can't jump into it without actually having data. And that is what makes it different from the conventional way of doing business. So you go into business, you already know how, taking advantage of trends and data available, already know how people behave and what they want, the kind of things they want, how they relate to that particular thing, and how to approach them. And that is why it's very, very important to actually identify your audience, identify your target market, your target potential customers, the people you're going to be reaching out to. I will use an example. In the case of a business growth hacking strategy for an IT company, in the case of selling a web hosting product, and in this case, let's say VPS servers, for example. I'll give another example on farming, but let's go with this. Um, I am targeting my target customer. I will first identify will be web developers. This will be my target audience. And of course businesses, because I understand that, well, in as much as most businesses might buy hosting for their developers, they would not really be a good fit for the case of VPS, because that is really big hosting that will probably be used by big applications. And in this case, I would expect that my 60 to 70% target audience will be web developers in general. Now, the next thing now would be, do I have available data as to even which web developer? Because It's not every web developer that develop applications that use VPS. Most of them they relied on so I just wanted to give that example to understand how I need to, one of the process to actually identify my target audience in the case of business growth hacking. Now, data is very, very important. So, in a nutshell, it's very, very important to understand your customer by leveraging on the available data um, that you get, whether it's information or
Yes.
then you would see that I have put down in detail, step by step, ways to acquire some of these data for your business. Depends on what type of business you are doing and what kind of data you will be needing. And of course, at what stage your business is, whether it's a startup, whether it's a business you're already running, there is a way you can acquire different ways of acquiring um, data for your business. As they say, of course, data is king, right? In today's digital age. So that's how important it is. It helps you identify your potential audience. Unlike the conventional way of business, in this case, you are able to know your audience based on how they have probably interact with other businesses, of course, like yours. This makes it very easy. And of course, in the case where you're already running business and you acquire this data using your own business, then you are able to identify which of your business product or service or which approach would work more effective. And this is what makes it a hack, by the way. Now, the next thing is you need to experimentation and, of course, continuous testing. As I mentioned earlier, you go to the market because the idea is to gather as much data as you can on your customers, how they relate to your product, their preferences, what kind of product and what kind of approach works best. If I send out an ad for a farming product, for example, and I use a picture, let's say that, or I'm selling clothes, and I use a picture to send out the ad like a banner and send out an ad on social media or on Google, and then I realize that, yeah, people were not really relating to it well. Then after 1 week or so, I sent out another ad by using a video. Then the third day, third week, I sent out another ad by using, um, let's say, text, normal text. And then the fourth week, I send out an ad using me just talking about my product. Now, this would help me to understand. This is the testing process, very, very important because in growth hacking, testing is very important. You test out and see which one works because you are looking for data on how your customer relate to your product, their preferences, and all that, so that the next time you are going into, you are going to directly hack into their interest. That is what it means. You are not going to be beating around the bush because now you know what they want, you know how they relate to it, you know when they relate to it. And so the next time you are going, after testing, you would go direct to give them what they want, when they want it, how they want it. And that actually makes it a hack because you have gone completely directly to give them what they want, when they want, and how they want it. And as such, they would, chances that they are going to definitely buy and that definitely makes it a hack. So a core principle of growth hacking is to constantly, of course, experiment and test different strategies to find what works best. This involves utilizing the of course, A/B testing, where you create two variations of marketing asset, e.g., landing page, email, measuring. Of course, those are just example. As I have said, this is our first step towards digital marketing, and that is why we are starting with growth hacking. So it's all about testing, understanding what really works for your customer or audience, so that when you are going next, you are able to give them exactly what they are really looking for and when they want it and how they want it. That is basically the hack about business growth. Need you to understand that. Now, the next principle is, of course, leveraging on, of course, viral loops and referral programs, right? Now, since it's, I know there are so many of us who have recommend different products and services to our customers. But we have to understand that have you been able to hear me?
Sorry for this inconvenience again. I hope everyone must be aware of this broken signals in between. But Mr. AJ will be here soon. So I guess he was discussing, since morning there was some bad signal. So he's suffering from this. Yes, he's back.
So sorry about that. It's where I am, very far from, so this is expected. So I was talking about leveraging, of course, on viral loops and, of course, referral programs. So a powerful growth hacking strategy is to leverage on viral, of course, loops and referral programs. A viral loop is, of course, a mechanism that encourages users to invite others and create a viral effect, create a trend. Very important. Uh, of course, causing rapid existing customers to refer others to your business, thereby leveraging the power of word of mouth marketing. By providing incentives, of course, very important, and making the referral process seamless, you can drive, of course, exponential growth. Very important. Um, and that is why marketing is very important. I did talked about difference between sales and marketing. When you are starting a business, one of the part of the principle is leveraging on referral. Now, that referral usually is part of actually your marketing. And marketing, most people focus on sales, by the way. Sales is very good, but the long time benefit of marketing is really huge compared to sales, because sales is when you want to just close the deal, and marketing is when you are able to reach as many people as you can, uh, telling as many people as you can about your product or service, or about a brand, or about you. So now, in the case of leveraging on viral loops and referral, I recommend that you take advantage of technological tools or platforms that offer referral programs. And one of the key benefit of this is you don't have to pay in advance. If you have a website or an app, you can actually have these integrated within your website. If you don't, then you can actually just use some free platform to just create, and you have um, a link for everybody to use. You must have seen people on most of these influencers. You will see them talking about something, and they will be like, use my referral code. They earn money, so at least something from each time you actually use their promo code, and you also get a discount when you actually use their platform. Now, that is also a strategy, a growth hacking strategy to use. Take advantage of referral programs. You can actually, if you can afford to implement a software or use any platform, you can simply actually talk to your, I've seen people who have businesses, and nobody within your cycle tell other people about your business. And so you're running a shop, you sell clothes, but the friends and family members don't know never talk or chit chat about your business, but you will find them discussing about other people's business. You can actually leverage. I do know that one of the reasons probably would be that maybe they don't believe in your product. One other reason could also be that you really neglect that part of marketing. So you can offer incentives and tell your family. I do that a lot. Each of our customer who patronize us become our affiliate automatically, because if you refer someone, your friend, to either sign up for our service or our hosting or any of our products, you automatically get a commission from doing that. And I'm satisfied. I like their offering. So why would I not refer it if I'm going to get paid to do that? If I would get a commission each time I just tell someone, hey, I actually have been working with this company and they did my mobile app, my website, or my hosting is with them. You can probably just use them. I think they are good. And just by doing that, I'm getting paid for that, doing that. Why wouldn't people do that? So it's also a very, very good uh, a strategy that you can take advantage of. Is a good business hack principle to use to actually you can leverage on to grow your business. And this does not just help you increase sales, it also helps you to create a trend, getting people to talk about your business from one person to another, which in turn will eventually create credibility for your business. Now, let's harness the power of data. As I was saying, this is where the main conversation is. You can run, you can take advantage of business growth if you cannot, if you don't have data, because you will need to leverage on data. Is the amount of data available to you that you would use. And please understand data, the way people or customers behave, their preferences, their location, all these, their gender, all these are all part of data. So if you don't have data,
I guess due to bad signals, he is off screen, but soon he'll be here. I'm 100% sure. So, apologies once again, everyone, for this inconvenience. Again and again, I have to say it. I'm sorry about it, but it was going in really good flow. Uh, so, as you must be going through with this lesson, I know it must be very in depth and very intense. So, as I can see, all the comments of yours, you guys are really acknowledging this. So thank you very much for this, and thank you very much for being constant on these lectures, on these lessons. I know they all are very important and very informative for you all guys. And as I can see, Mr. AJ is on screen, but still it's buffering. Yes, he's back.
thank you very much. I'm doing my best to make sure that we
Yes,
don't have a
sure.
situation. So
We
bear
understand.
with. So as I was saying, data is very important, and as you can see from the slide, data, of course, is the foil, right, that powers growth hacking. Very, very important. Is the foil that powers growth hacking. By collecting and analyzing data, you can gain valuable insight into your user behaviors. I mentioned that already, of course, and then conversion rate and marketing, of course, a data-driven approach allows you to make informed decisions. That is completely what the hack is all about. It's that simple. Gather enough data, analyze the data, understand how your, because the idea is to understand your customers, to understand how they behave with your product, or understand trend as well, and know how to approach the market because your end game to become a business growth hacker is your ability to be able to send out a product or service to a customer who need it, as I said, when they need it and how they need it. All right. These are just, it's a summary of what business growth hacking is all about. And the process is what involve these simple strategies that I've just talked about. Once you have the product that they need, I talked about that value preposition. Once you have the product that they need and know how to tell them and show
I guess again the same issue, but he'll be able to search in. It's a very interesting lecture, for the all entrepreneur, for all potential business people. Those are already there, all my fellows. So thank you very much for being together and going through with this. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your patience and being here for so long and bearing all these
if you can hear
inconveniences.
me, we
Yeah.
can just continue while okay. So as I was saying, it's very, very important traditional way of doing business um, involve taking advantage of data available to uh, promote your business. So the question would be, how do I implement business growth hacking? That's what I was trying to summarize. The process simply involved um, a value proposition by telling your customers how what you're offering is going to solve their problem straight out. That is the benefit. Don't no long stories. That is a conventional way of marketing. In this case, no long stories. And then you want to now understand who the customer, you must have identified your customer. Now, once you identify your customer, then learn about how they behave and how they like the type of service you offer to be given to them. Learn how, when they want it to be given to them. Learn what particular product or service that you offer they would want to be given to them. Once you learn all this, and of course, learn their location, meaning where are they? In the case of this location, it does not necessarily have to be a physical location. In this case, it could be that they are on Facebook, they are on that is social media, they are on search engine, and all of that. These locations, all right. So it's very, very important to learn about where your customers are. If you're selling clothes, for example, you want to know whether your customers are on Instagram, they are on, let's say, the Pinterest, they are on LinkedIn. Your customers or potential customers are in a place, they are in a different type of, most of them, because of the user behaviors, you would always find them in different locations. As a web hosting company, I would probably go for LinkedIn because I would find more businesses compared to someone who is selling clothes who would probably prefer to be on Instagram. And even the way you present it would definitely look better on Instagram when you are selling clothes as compared to someone doing B2B for an IT company, for example. So at the end of the day, the point is you need data, and this data is what is you will leverage on to become a professional business growth hacker. Very important, because as I said earlier, the idea, if you don't take anything at all from this training, what I want you to understand about business growth hacking in a nutshell is an unconventional way of marketing, selling your product or service. And how you do that is to give your business, to present your business to your target customers by leveraging on technology, especially by taking advantage of available data, and how to gather that data involve the process of testing and experimenting with different strategies, marketing strategies. Identify that, then you start implementing your hacking strategy by sending out that particular, by implementing, I mean, that strategy that works. And that is what makes you uh, marketing a growth hacking expert, of course, for your business, I would say. So as we wrap up, the next one is building strategic partnership. I always tell people that these days, one of the most effective way to market your business is taking advantage of partnership. If you go into business with this mentality of being a competitor, yeah, sorry, it doesn't work these days. Partnership is one of the key principles and strategies when it comes to business growth hacking. And I will tell you one easy way to do that. You want to enter industry, for example, that you know that there are people who are already providing that service. So the first question that will probably come to my mind, as I always do, is what part of my service can I provide to my competitors? The reason I want to do that is to make my competitor have something to lose if I go out of market. And by doing that, I am making my competitor my customers or me becoming their customers. So if either I become their customer or they become my customer, one way or the other, there has to be a way to partner. And by implementing that strategy, you make them have interest in you and your business. And so fighting you to see you go out of the market become very difficult because they have got interest in your business or you. So this is also one very important business growth hacking strategy. So collaborating and partnering with, of course, complementary business can be a highly effective growth hacking strategy. Of course, by aligning with, of course, companies that share your target audience, as I just said, they would be you share the same audience, whether they are directly your competitors or they are just platform that you can leverage on. For example, in the case of social media, your audience are there. That is where you need them. They provide the channel. Partner with them and as we wrap up quickly. Now, the next thing is personalization and customer experience. Is business growth hacking? So, which means you want to hack into a particular person or company that you have a better understanding by leveraging on available data to you. So then, it's better to customize and tailor whatever you are selling to meet their own experience, right? In the case of, let's say I'm making a post, for example, personalizing your post, or if it's a product you are selling, making the experience personal to your customer or target audience, increase your chances of sales. Very, very important. So personalization and customer experience is key when it comes to business growth. So in today's digital age, personalization and of course exceptional customer experience are key different growth hacking, of course, in terms of when customer focus on, you need to make sure that their experience is seamless. Very important. Because of time, I can't continue to read that, but the idea is personalize the experience. Beyond that, make sure that your customers or your target customers experience when they finally buy from you or at least come across your product or service is really seamless. That definitely would make them want to patronize, buy from you, and of course, refer or even come back at the end of the day. If I buy from you your product and at the end of the day, I'm not happy with it, or even the way you treat me when I was buying, you can be sure that I will not come back. Even if I have to force myself to come back I may not be happy to refer anybody to you. So I think with this, we have come to the end of today's session. I would say not really the end because, like I've mentioned earlier, this is a very comprehensive step-by-step guide. And when I share this document, you are going to be seeing understanding the concept, key principle, identifying business growth opportunities, analyzing market trends, building growth hacking, tips for effective business growth hacking. And I take this deeper as well. You will see the difference between scaling and growth. By the way, they are not the same. You can grow. I just want to mention this. You can actually grow your business without making profit. A business can become very big in size, but not really making profit. But when you are scaling, of course, that is beyond just growth. So you are going to also be seeing this as well. I wish we had enough time for me to take you through all these steps, and you will see the differences, the strategies as well, leveraging on technology, as I mentioned, optimizing your business for operation, all this, and then there is a case study that I know you were hoping to actually see during this training, but you would get to go through this step by step when I share this document. So that will be it. And there is a question on the screen during this training I did mention. So I would like to hear from you. What is one of the fundamental principle of growth hacking? Just tell me that. Share on the comment section and on our social media. Just tell us which one you think is the fundamental, uh, and that will be it from me, Mrs. Anu. Over to you.
Yes, thank you very much. It was very detailed, and as you said, wish you could have much more time, but I'm sure we'll find some time for another session related to this topic because it is very detailed topic and very interesting and important for us, like for every business person. Customer service is very important, as you said in at the last. Slide. So I hope every potential business person watching here must be aware of and will be now very much informed about it. So thank you very much for this wonderful session. Now it's a question and answer times. We are left with approximately 10 minutes. So I hope we'll be able to take as many questions as we can and you can answer them very briefly so that any other person can also be benefited. Till the time, I would like to all our fellows inform that you can answer this question in the comment on social media comments as well. And here's our first question from successful entrepreneurs. What is the difference between landing page and a website? How can I utilize either for growth hacking, for scaling in my business? Yes, Mr. AJ. Oh, I guess again the bad connection, but it's really a wonderful question. Thank you very much for giving this question, and as soon as Mr. AJ will be on screen, he'll be answering to this uh, as everyone else can see this question, and I'm sure people must be curious about it. But if I can read this question, what is the difference between a landing page and a website? So I hope I can help you with the first part of this question. So landing page is something whenever you log into any website, so the first page that you go to, which we call home page, so that is your landing page. Like whosoever is going on your website, so the first page they go to, that called landing page, and website is a whole website where you have every other option like contact us, home, testimonials. So that is website. Yes, Mr. AJ is here. Yes, I tried to answer for the first half of the question, but I'm sure you are expert, so you'll be answering it.
I,
Please go.
yes, I think you had already answered the question, and the good thing is uh, today's topic, Mrs. Anu is also a digital marketing expert, so don't worry
No,
about that.
that's
I
not
believe
nice.
that you you already got an answer to that question. So, um, of course, this is actually self-explanatory. you have a landing page. It's just a page, and then you have an let's say you are running. Can you hear me? I just want to be
Yes,
sure that I'm in.
yes, you're audible. Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, Mr. AJ, you are audible. You can go ahead.
Okay, all right. So let's, in the case of most people use this when you really don't, when you either have a website but you are making an offer and you decide to design a very specific sales landing page where maybe, let's say you are doing a Black Friday, for example, and you design a specific page that simply talks about what you're offering at that time. You understand that that's not something that will remain on your website completely on the front page of the website all through. um, you just design that. For some people, they actually put it on the main homepage of the website. By the way, it can actually also be your main landing page, but the main idea is that is the main page you can actually set up when people click from your sales funnel or wherever they are coming from, and they land on that particular page. It has different names. From there, it will give them basic details about your offering in a brief introduction and what you're offering, when you are offering it, and all of that. So that is your landing page. For the website, a website is the entire website which may have a lot of different pages in it. So that is basically the website. And we have different types of website, of course. In the course of digital marketing, you are going to learn, I hope that we'll have time to take you through step by step, or at least to get to learn more about how a website works. It's easy to confuse the two, by the way, because in a not they actually look like they are all websites, anyways, for a layman or a normal person, but they are actually not.
Yes. All right. Thank you very much. Now we have another question from Mr. Jemo saying thanks for Mr. AJ. Please, how can you help us to access funding because that's challenges we start are facing in Nigeria from our government.
Okay. Um, Definitely, I'm happy to help you access funding, and I guess the first step towards helping you access funding is the funding to prepare your business for the funding. So yes, I recognize that funding is a major challenge in this part of the world, but you would also agree with me that um, there are funding opportunities, and there are a lot of them that I can think of. Maybe we would have towards the pitch decks session, we'll try and talk about that when it comes to how to assess funding and available funding opportunities. I hope that helped. But definitely that is something we'll talk about. But like I always say, prepare for the funding first. That's what we are doing here.
Yes. Thank you for this answer. I hope he got his whatever he was looking for. Thank you very much. Now, Mr. Godwin is asking in growth hacking, do will have to build different products and service for different locations?
The question would probably including different products and services. For example, um, the web hosting that works for Nigerian companies will not be the same that will work for Europe, UK. Yes, for example, because if I'm going to deploy, just because I'm in Nigeria and I decide to say I will sell Nigerian servers to let's say UK customers or our Europe customers or US customers, it's not going to work because First of all, the website will, or the apps will definitely be slower because the location is very far. That is one. And then there, I will probably have more stable network. I will probably have more affordable servers, data centers to use. So these are part of the things that actually help you determine what kind of strategies to implement for your hacking growth. Okay, it's all about available data, and part of the example I just mentioned now in the case of web hosting is all about data that are available to you. So you need to find out if the product would still work fine in the other location, then why not? But if a different location requires different kind of your customer, those are potential customers, that is a target audience for you, then I would say definitely yes, you need to do that. But then another question that comes to mind is, you don't go to market to sell to just people that you identified. You also need to first have a product, and knowing that the people you identify want your product. That is why we say that you need to identify your customers, your audience. So on one hand, yes. On the other hand, no. Yes, because if there are customers you have identified that have a problem and you can solve that problem, then you will have to tailor. That's why we talked about tailor. You have to tailor the experience to them, which means if there are products in Kenya, in Zimbabwe, to the way people interact to the product in Nigeria is not the same, then the answer is yes. No, because you can't just go about looking for customer when so that you can create a new product. That's not the idea. Because the first thing is to actually identify whether there is a need within a location that is within your reach, and understand that you would still have to make profit. I would have to be sure that, am I still going to make profit? The fact that I want to export my farming produce to Europe or America or China or India, would I still be able to make profit when I do that? Or I can simply just sell to local consumers without incurring too much cost of export and all of that, and I'll be fine. So those are questions you need to ask, because at the end of the day, you want to leverage on those data and give them, again, remember, give the customer you have identified what they want, when they want it, how they want it, is what is called business growth hacking.
Thank you very much for this answer. Now we are at the end of this session, probably. Mr. AJ, I would like to request, I think you can mute your mic so that we can get rid of this echo while I'm speaking. Otherwise, the voice is overlapping. Yeah, thank you. Now it just probably will be able to take one last question. As we can see, like in the comment box, there are a lot of questions, and I guess there's another question from Mr. Godwin. Also, he's asking, do we have to consider the cost implication to know which of the growth hacking strategies or marketing strategies to use?
The answer definitely would be yes, because the fact that you identified, at the end of the day, you actually, is actually still part of your growth. That's why I said it wasn't possible to cover this topic today. That's why I said I'm going to share the material so that you can go through. If I have time, I may actually also record the entire session and then share it. Maybe our technical team will share it via email, maybe step by step. But to answer your question, yes, and it's also part of your hacking strategy, because you need to know how much is it that will cost you to reach them, right? That is why it's not the conventional way. It's if you were going to place a TV advert, you would spend that money without knowing how many people you would even reach. And at the end of the day, you won't even know how many people really buy from you. But if you are going to play, which means if they said a slot per second or per 1 minute, is $100 or let's say $50, you would have to pay that. But in the case of this growth hacking, which leverage on available data and technology, what happened is it actually saves you cost. By the way, that those are some of the advantages. It saves you cost. It's cost effective, and that is why it's hacking. It saves you cost. So because you don't just push to anybody. So for choosing the channels, which will deal with when we reach digital marketing, you would learn how to take into consideration, into account the cost, of course, when choosing a channel and of for on any type of marketing um, for your marketing channels and all of that. So yes, that is very important because you can invest what you don't have, and even if you have, would you be able to generate enough revenue to make profit from it? Is another question.
Thank you very much for this answer once again. And I guess now it's time to wrap up this whole session. So, thank you very much, everyone. Mr. AJ, thank you very much for this wonderful another session. And all the participants, all our fellows, thank you very much for staying till end. It was a really good session once again. And so, growth hacking and scaling strategies is a very big topic, and as Mr. AJ is continuously repeating, like it is very hard to summarize in within 1 hour. So hopefully we'll be having some more parts regarding this whole topic, so maybe some other day. But thank you very much for this wonderful hour full of information and full of energy. And once again, apologies for the bad connection in between, but you guys have been so much full of patience and encouraging. So thank you very much. And we'll see you next time for another informative session soon. And Mr. AJ, thank you very much once again. Thank you for this knowledge that you are day to day giving. Thank you and have a good time ahead, everyone. See you there. Thank you.